Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Monday. It's Monday today. If you like what we're doing, make sure you subscribe to our channels, all of our channels out there, wherever you listen to us. Download our episodes, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and share it. Share it with a friend. People need stuff like this. I'm convinced the more people who hear this, the more of our material problems go away with spiritual solutions. What do you think about that, Mr. K?
I'm with you all the way on that.
All right, good. It's true. It's really true. It's not like we haven't thought about this. You think we jump through all these Hare Krishna hoops if we haven't think that this was the most important thing we could do for ourselves and the world?
We got to do it.
We got to do this. Share this. Share the love. How are you?
Everything good. I know that you're tired. That's what it means to be a father. Sometimes you get tired.
You know what? My kids showed up. I was like, you know what? My kids aren't showing up today, and I'm lovingly detached. And you know what? I was like, I went for an 18-mile bike ride to find my grounding. And I reflected. I did. I reflected about life. I listened to Jay Shetty.
Really?
I love Jay Shetty. He's great.
Okay.
And then I went home and I said, you know what? I did 18 miles and I just through the beautiful upstate New York countryside.
Oh, by the way, I saw the thing you posted.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Thank you.
Well, I just said I saw it. I didn't say I liked it yet or anything like that.
What is it? It's Monday, man. Be loving.
Okay.
Be kind. If you could be anything in this world, be kind.
It was great to be out there on the bike with you, riding around.
Yeah, sometimes. You know what? People like to peer into other people's lives. That was for a thing I'm doing for Vani's school. Courses, listen up here.
I
put this on the board. Courses.vanischool.com/happy. Courses.vanischool.
That's a long one.
It is, but she's going to put it on the board. Courses.vanischool.com/happy. It's called Happiness Amplified. It's a free seminar, workshop, master's class, webinar, whatever you want to call it. But it's 1 hour. It's an hour of like little tricks of the trade from Vedic wisdom, happiness hacks. You can call it happiness hacks.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's good. So you got to register in advance, and then you're on the list. And then I'm going to do it while I'm in Croatia, hanging out with Road Rage and Velcro. But that's June 24th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. June 24th, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, but anyway, I was saying something important. Oh, and so then I got home, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm okay. Life is temporary, and sometimes it's Father's Day and your kids don't show up, and that's okay. And then I started mowing the lawn. Then I got on that tractor and mowed the lawn. And then my kids showed up.
Oh.
They said, we're here to take you out. And it was nice.
Where'd they take you?
You don't want to say. They took me for like a little vegan ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah. Stewart's.
Stewart's.
Yeah, it's a gas station that sells ice cream. It's nothing special, but you know what? It meant a lot to me.
Flavors, right?
Yeah.
Good.
So it was nice.
All right.
It was nice. But then in the middle of the night there was some issue and I had to wake up and deal with the kids, and so that's why I'm tired today. But I did yoga for the first time since my surgery. 18 miles on the bike, yoga, and me and Mara went for a long japa walk.
That's why you're so tired today.
I'm tired and I sore and I broke up my sleep, so I'm a little tired today.
All right. Well,
I'm a 3-time snoozer today.
Let's just keep this moving, Raghunath.
It was like snooze, snooze again, snooze again. It's embarrassing hitting snooze.
Why don't we hear from Mara any announcements that she may have?
All right, Miss Mara.
I'll just keep the ball rolling.
We're back to your recovery group meetings today at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and 9 p.m. Eastern time. And also we should mention that there's no show on Wednesday. On Wednesday.
And Wednesday, that's when you're traveling.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of traveling, I'm going to be in London this Saturday. Check it out, right? I'd like to meet you people.
Oh, interesting. It's
from
going up right
England,
against my Bonnie School
UK.
course.
Well, sorry, man. But
If you love him more,
is
listen
your
to
thing
his
on
course.
Saturday? Is your thing on Saturday?
The 24th. What is that?
Yeah.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
What time? What time?
Like 8 p.m. Croatian time, which is probably 5 p.m. your time. Yeah, they'll overlap.
5 p.m. I'll be in England though, so they don't overlap, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. If you're in England, I would love to meet you. You go to it's at the Studio 108 in London, and it's like the late afternoon, early evening. It's like a 4-hour workshop with myself, and Vaisheshika Prabhu about how the mind is like a computer and different practices. It's worth it just to see him, really. So check that out. You can go to the Studio 108. You can go to my Instagram and go to the links in the bio, and you'll see everything you need there to register.
I think you're going to meet a lot of Wisdom Sages people in England. They're all over there.
That's my main point. I just want to meet you Wisdom Sages people. That's the real reason I'm doing it. So please come on out.
Where is it again? At
Studio 108. It's in Central Studio 108.
Okay, great.
Central London.
All right, that's great. I have the quick. Our thing. A lot of people are signing up for our farm stays.
Okay, we're making too many announcements now.
This is important. YTT is happening here at the farm, July 13th to the 28th. It's like, why go in weekends, like for 8 hours a weekend for a year? Go to our massive immersion with me, Bobby, and Cindy, July 13th to the 28th. Or you can come and hang out and just do some yoga, chill out with us, go to some morning and evening kirtan. It's like you're living in an ashram. Farm stay. Email Mara at supersoultrainings@gmail.com. Also check out my website, raghunath.yoga. We have me and Lori Pag in September.
This is too many announcements. I can't take it anymore, man. If I was listening to this podcast, I'd be like gone now.
Zip it, sir. This is why we have a podcast. We have no advertisements except our own stuff.
I know,
that's
but
what we do.
Too much of it. Too much.
Me and Jiva G, September 28th to October 1st. There you go.
Okay, that's in September. It's like months away.
I know. You got to. People have to. People plan things.
All right, but like you could mention these things like once, like one per day. You spread them out over the week.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Nugget.
Let's go.
Nugget.
Here's the nugget.
All right. Who's it from?
The nugget is from you to me, but it's actually originally from Dr. Charles Alexander Eastman.
Do you know who that is?
Yes, he started Kodak, didn't he?
No.
Eastman Kodak.
You're not even close.
Oh, okay.
You know, he did help start though.
What?
The Boy Scouts.
Really? I thought that was Baden Powell.
Well, he was involved. That I know. He was like a Native American, you know, and
really?
And he was. I think he was the. I had it pulled up. Where did it go?
My best memories were of...
Here. I got it. So Charles Alexander Eastman. He was born Hakada, and later named Ohiesa, sometimes written Ohiesha, was an American physician, writer, and social reformer. He was the first Native American to be certified in Western medicine and was, quote, unquote, one of the most prolific authors and speakers on Sioux ethnohistory and American Indian affairs in the early 20th century. Eastman was a Santi Dakota, which is a particular tribe. He was of this Santi Dakota English and French and excuse me, ancestry. After working as a physician on the reservations in South Dakota, he became increasingly active in politics and issues of Native American rights. He worked to improve the lives of youths and founded 32 Native American chapters of the YMCA. And he is considered the first Native American author to write American history from the Native American point of view. He also helped found the Boy Scouts of America.
Huh.
How about that?
I'd be interested in seeing a colonial contemporary of his studying Native American medicine. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Say that
Like,
again.
what did they use for medicine?
Who?
Native Americans. I'm sure they had their own medicine, because it says
Sure
here
they
he
did.
was the first Western medicine,
Western.
Native American learning Western medicine.
Okay, but he's got a great quote here. Great nugget. Hit it.
Switch phones. Okay. The wise man believes profoundly in silence, the sign of perfect equilibrium. Silence is the absolute poise or balance of body, mind, and spirit.
That's
The man
the
who
point.
preserves his selfhood is ever calm and unshaken by the storms of existence.
That's
Ooh, I
important.
like that one. The storms of existence. Not a leaf, as it were, a stir on the tree, not a ripple upon the surface of the shining pool. His in the mind of the unlettered, is that unfettered or unlettered?
Unlettered. I believe unlettered.
Never heard that word.
It
Unlettered.
means like someone that's not learned in a sense, but I think he may mean it in the sense where it's like what do we call it when you person illiterate? Like maybe he's speaking about like a Native American who can't read,
Okay.
but still has these deep insights. That I'm not sure about that, but
His in the mind of the unlettered sage is the ideal attitude and conduct of life. Silence is the cornerstone of character.
okay.
Okay, Mary, you could have put that on the board. That was a good one.
Silence is the
The-
cornerstone of
A
character.
wise man believes profoundly in silence, the sign of perfect equilibrium. You know, I've been on a japa reform lately, Kostuba.
Good. That's nice. I got to do
It
that
is.
too.
It is.
Always.
I'm trying to make it like silence. I you know how they do all these meditational studies where it's like the brain waves change when people are in meditation, etc. I'm trying to
Yeah.
make my japa be like silence, where I'm chanting, but it's very fluid. It's very like flowing and very calming.
Yeah.
So, and it's a little bit more. It's
How's it
it's
going?
helping. It's going very good, actually. I
Alright.
just sit and chant.
Where do you sit?
In a chair in front of a picture of little Krishna, or sometimes I go into the sauna and chant there.
Going to the sauna. It really starts to flow there.
All right, what's your takeaway from the quote?
Well, you know, he's using the word silence. Really, to me, this is just this is Bhagavad-gita here, and he's saying silence. I think what he's describing as silence, Krishna, in the Bhagavad-gita, is saying samatvam, even-mindedness. In other words, the mind is silent. It's not, I need this, I got to get away from that. You know, our mind is generally caught up in things aren't right. They need to be changed in some way before I'm going to be happy. And I think so Krishna uses the term samatvam, all right, this even-mindedness, equipoise, you could call it too, as silence. That's, you know, we once heard on the show Yudhishthir's like lengthy discourse on, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you
Yes,
remember
I
what
do.
it was, the subject was?
We have a lot of good memories, you and me.
Yeah. Do you remember this one? What the subject
I think
of?
it was forgiveness.
Yes, exactly, Raghunath.
Booyah!
He said forgiveness is a quiet mind. And look at you. That got your Monday going. That jump started your Monday now. Now you're rolling.
I'll kick in soon.
Okay.
I'll kick in soon.
So Yudhishthir said forgiveness is a quiet mind. meaning that when you can let go of things, when you even if you've been quote unquote offended, you just forgive. You have this quiet mind, and that quiet, it's an even mind. It's not shaken by external things. This is, he says, the wise man, which is just another term for a sage, right?
Right.
They profoundly believe in this silence. Now, Krishna says he says samatam yoga uchite, that it's this kind of even-mindedness that he's telling Arjuna, do your duty, go out into the world and do what you need to do. Don't even be concerned with happiness, distress. Don't even be concerned with success or failure, because ultimately that's not even up to you. What is up to you is to give it your full effort, but then you do it with an even mind, right? You do it even-minded. And he said that even-mindedness is called yoga, right? That's called yoga. So it's very much, it's something that Krishna comes to in Bhagavad-gita again and again. It's very essential to the practice of yoga.
And it's very opposite of how we teach. We teach result-based work.
This world, you're saying?
Yeah. This world, just there's a metric for your success. We want to know how much money do you make a year, right? Where do you live? What do you drive?
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like, especially, I live in the countryside, so it's a little different. But when you go into the suburbs of anywhere in America, there's a standard of house that you live in and a standard of car you drive according to what you make. And then you can see the other neighborhood where the housing development's a little nicer and the cars are a little nicer. And it's all measured of your success. And there's this idea of duty and letting go of that. You know what? I wrote down randomly. This is a Krishna miracle. What do you think of this? Everything that undermines your peace ultimately undermines your happiness.
Everything that undermines your peace
undermines your happiness. Isn't that tied in with our quote? What do you think?
I think in one sense, I think it definitely ties in with the quote.
Check this out. This is also part of it. Regrets, resentments.
Regrets, I've had a few.
Regrets, resentments, they chip away at our current happiness.
Oh, you're preparing for your course. That's what's going on here. I see what's going on. Good stuff. It sounds like it'll be a good course.
It's gonna be.
Of course, my thing is going on at the same time. So,
what's your course called? Mine's called Amplified Happiness. That's a pretty good name. Mine
is called Our Minds Are Just Computers and Other Yogic other thoughts on yoga, or something like that.
Boring.
You know what? I'm not shaken by that.
I'm not shaken either. I'm completely detached. No one can sign up my course. I'm happy. I'm happy about that.
But yours sucks.
Yours is no good. No, yours is going to be great. Okay. I'm going to sign up for yours.
All right. So, and also it's very much echoing Bhagavad-gita. Who knows? Maybe there was some connection. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Or, they have those connections. What do they call that? Do you know about those experiments that they had with the monkeys on the different islands and the sweet potatoes? Have you heard that one before?
No, it sounds great though. Monkeys and sweet potatoes. Sign me up for that course. Monkeys and sweet potatoes. Tell me.
They're monkeys on different islands that would never ever meet. I mean, monkeys can't go from one island to the other.
Yeah,
they can. And they had these potatoes, sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
and they would always eat them straight out of the ground. And then they discovered that the monkeys on one island they discovered how to wash the potato, and it was better when you washed it. So then all the monkeys started washing their potatoes. And then they found out that actually the monkeys on the other island at the same time discovered.
At the exact same time, figure out how to wash them?
Yeah. It was like, is there a connection here?
How do they do that?
I don't know. But
so what's your point? I mean, what was it? What did the scientists conclude?
That's right. Oh, well, I think they came up with a name for that phenomenon. Maybe Mara, if she wasn't just like
she's wandering the house this morning.
Yeah, where she just doesn't even. Doing? What is it like? She doesn't even. There she is, Mara. We need you to look something up. Sweet
potatoes, monkeys. Google that.
Islands.
See something comes up.
Yeah, but I think they came up with a term with it, and the idea that sometimes people are sharing things even though they're not with each other. in any
Interesting.
case, the reason why I brought it up is because, like what he's saying here, that the man who preserves his selfhood, interesting term, right? In other words, he's in touch with the Atma. He's not identifying with the mind.
Hmm.
The man who preserves his selfhood is ever calm and unshaken by the storms of existence. Now let's go to Bhagavad-gita 6th chapter. You know, in text 20 through 23, there's a whole.
Imagine if this Native American found Bhagavad-gita. He'd be like, wait a second, this thing's superior.
Well, we don't have to get it superior.
Why are we listening to these Christians?
But he says, you know, Krishna is describing the state of samadhi. You know, in that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. And upon gaining this, they think there's no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, Raghunath, one is never shaken, even in the midst of the greatest difficulty. We're talking about the same state of consciousness here, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's all-
maybe it's not that he had to discover the Bhagavad Gita, but he had that samatvam, or he knew people that
Yeah.
did, and he could recognize the same thing, that when you got this, what he calls preserving the selfhood, right? When you're like, oh, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I am the self. Therefore, all the things that would shake up my mind in the past don't shake it up anymore. Now, no matter what storms in life come along, I'm not shaken. They both recognized it.
All right, you want to hear about the Mara did a little
Yeah,
research here.
Yeah, did you find it?
Yeah, it's called the 100th monkey effect.
you just interested because it's talking about monkeys, right?
You know, I spent I wanted to bond with my 9-year-old yesterday. So I was like,
Okay.
what do you want to do? And he goes, I want to watch monkey videos. I was like, all right, let's sit down in front of the TV and watch monkey
You're
videos.
like, I can do that.
I can. Very entertaining, actually, what monkeys do.
Do you remember Barrel of Monkeys?
Yes, I had that game.
Yeah.
I had many of those. The 100th monkey effect is a hypothetical phenomenon in which a new behavior or idea is spread rapidly by unexplained means.
There you
We're
go.
going to call that mysterious means, from one group to all related groups, once a critical number of members of one group exhibit the new behavior or acknowledge the new idea. The behavior was said to propagate even to groups that are physically separated and have no apparent means of communicating with each other.
See?
Since it was popularized, the effect has been discredited. In many
What?
cases of research.
There's always
There's
some
the
skeptic,
debunkers.
naysayer.
There's always some
Somebody's
debunkers.
got to come and try to knock
Let's
it down.
fact check those monkeys.
See, Mara, this is why we need you. You can't just wander off on us. Thank you for that. Okay, so in any case, I'm appreciating Mr. Eastman, Dr. Eastman over here, and
Dr. Eastman.
and his parallel Bhagavad Gita Native American insights.
Yeah, that was very good, Kostuba. That was a
Thank
good
you.
nugget you dug up.
Thank you. Just like a sweet potato. And then
It
you
would
wash
have
it
been
off.
really interesting to be in the Americas or the old world here in
Would you
North
like
America.
to, like, if you and I were living in, say, 70, and we just said,
I want to be one of you. Let me
let's just
become
get on horses and start going west and see who we meet and see how we connect with them.
You know what? I find people like Lewis and Clark like unbelievable, like fascinating, like just going
We
out
come in
into the
peace.
unknown land. Huh?
But they were more, as far as I don't know anything about that, but they were more to like map it all out and everything, right?
They were looking for Scott the Californian.
Gold.
They were trying to go to the they
They're
were
just trying to find
No, I
California.
think they wanted to find what's on the other side.
Okay, but I'm talking about connecting with the people.
Well, I would have loved that. I would have loved to live with the Native Americans and show me their ways, and I will show you mine. And
What would have been your name? What name would they have given you?
probably slow and dumpy,
Dancing
slow and
bear.
dumpy, slow
Dancing-
and dumpy bear,
Dancing bear.
slow and dumpy. Get over here.
Wise, funny
Yes.
bear.
Eats too much. Come over here. Honey
Peanut
on
butter
lips.
bear.
Peanut, peanut butter. Honey on mouth. Come here.
Honey on-
Ate too much honey. Come here.
Okay. You ready, Roger?
Yeah.
Let's get
I
into
like
it.
those type of names too, because they really describe it's like what kids come up with nicknames, and
Yeah.
they're actually really accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hit it, Roger.
They are accurate, except mine. They called me Frog Eyes when I was a kid on the bus.
That
That was
sounds like
horrible. That was
did they?
horrible.
It's not necessarily an insult.
Of course it's an insult. All the kids made fun of me and called me Frog Eyes on the bus. You don't think that's an insult?
No.
You should try being on the receiving end of Frog Eyes when you're in third grade.
They might have been jealous of your frog eyes.
No, they weren't jealous. Look at this. I don't think they're Frog Eyes.
No,
But
I
they
think you
thought
grew
it was
into
Frog
them.
Eyes.
Your head kind of like kept growing, and the eyes stayed the same. Maybe.
Maybe.
And now they work together.
My eyes were very big, and my head grew into my eyes. Maybe that was the case.
Okay, hit it, Raghunath. It's getting late.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudurayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, and to Narayan reach you, the Supreme Lord, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamat shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmadatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer obeisances at their lotus feet. You know what's a great Kasuba?
Yeah.
Looking at everybody on
I was
Zoom
anticipating
during those
scroll.
prayers. Everybody breaks into solemn
nice.
mode. They
It is
get
nice.
deeply focused. We should tell them they all have to get down on their knees. How about that? Get on your knees when we say that prayer. Like you got to drop wherever you are. You're in your car. You pull over. You get on your knees on the side of the highway. You just like a Muslim getting down, laying out the carpet.
We can make wisdom of the sages rugs that people can carry with them all day.
Yes, and you just roll them out. You're on the subway. You're just kneeling down. What's that guy doing? Yeah, that's what we can knit scarves for that. What are those Muslim rugs called? Do you know?
I don't know.
Prayer rugs.
Mara?
Anyone who knows?
Mara,
Google that. Yes, wisdom
just hit the
sages
ground
prayer rug.
anywhere.
Roll it out whenever we say those prayers. You got to lay down. Everyone's praying, and then there's always one person just like walking around. Today was Timothy Tucker. He was not in prayer mode. I noticed Timothy.
Okay.
And
Let's-
Karuna was doing something too.
Let's read a little Bhagavatam, Raghunath.
Bhagavatam.
Speaking still?
I'm gonna prayer shame you guys. I'm gonna get you if I see you not on your knees praying.
We're hearing today from Mother Earth again, Raghunath.
37. It's Canon 5, chapter 18, text 37. This is
That's
Mother
right.
Earth doing prayers to the Supreme Lord. And let's hear what
From
Mother
Lord.
Earth has to pray.
Okay.
The objects of material enjoyment, namely sound, form, taste, touch, and smell, the activities of the senses, the
Namely,
controllers of sensory activities, the demigods,
Yeah.
and the body, eternal time, and egotism are all creations of your material energy.
Okay. So that's all the
Okay.
equipment that we're moving around, the virtual reality. And you made all
Yeah.
that. Okay.
And it's coming from you. And it's not you. Those whose intelligence has become fixed by perfect execution of mystic yoga can see that all these elements result from the actions of your external energy.
Okay.
Interesting, huh?
Well, that, right
Your
there. Raghunath.
own egotism, it says. The body, external, eternal time, the controllers of the activities. That's a very interesting one. Like the blinking of your eyes.
Somebody's
Got
behind them.
nothing to do with you. Isn't that crazy to think like that?
It's kind of like if you have a car And especially like if you get one of these foreign cars, something like, you got to go to like a special. Hey, we had someone works on transmission, right? Someone works on the exhaust system. Someone, like you have.
You know what, Kostub?
Someone's responsible for.
I'm going to interrupt your analogy for a better analogy, because now you haven't driven a
See,
car
why
in a
are you
long
trying-
time.
I
Cars
hear what you're saying.
nowadays, they have these things that read the lines in the road, so you can't even swerve without the car taking control of itself and pulling it back to the road. And then some
Okay.
cars have this thing: if you're going to back up and you're going to hit a fire hydrant, it's like make some noise. And so, and sometimes cars have this thing where there's a car ahead of you, and it'll hit your brakes for you.
Okay.
So it's like the car is doing stuff without you even doing it. And here it's saying it's the demigod. All these things are happening with your body, just like you just sneezed before and you coughed, right? And then sometimes we blink, and sometimes we whatever, burp, sneeze, burp, fart, whatever it is. All those things, the demigods are farting for you. It's not, your body is controlled.
That will not
by
be
higher
a
beings.
takeaway on today's
That
show.
will not be a takeaway. AJ Sullivan's going to make that a takeaway. Do not make that a takeaway. But basically this body, which seems like we're in control of the body, you're not.
There's somebody in charge of all the different departments.
And that's just, you know what? At the very least, if you don't believe that, it's an interesting way to look at the body.
These are brilliant.
Something's happening, right? Because you sneezed. Did you say, now I'm going to sneeze? You didn't. You sneezed uncontrollably. In the same way Mara's car hits the brakes when the car appears in front of it.
Okay.
How's that?
Now, that's great, Rona.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to invalidate your analogy, but I felt
mine was playing with something a little different.
You're living in the 80s. People drove weird, backwards cars back then.
Well, that's still the fact that certain places take care of certain parts of your car.
Yes.
So my point was, there's a deva that's responsible. Like, I believe it's for the eyes. I think it's Surya, the god of the sun, right? Who gives the light, without which the eyes don't see anything, and so on. So there's like someone who's a specialist in all of the different functions of the body. Or there's doctors like that too,
Yeah.
You got your ears,
nose, and throat doctor.
ENT.
The guy couldn't figure out which one he wanted to be. I don't know. Let's just take ears, nose, and throat. Put me down for ears, nose, and throat.
Okay, so then he says this, Ragnar, you just read. Those whose intelligence has become fixed by perfect execution of mystic yoga. Now we're going to tie right back into Dr. Charles Alexander Eastman. That's the silence that he's talking about, right? They can see all these elements result from the actions of your external energy. They're watching it happen because they got the silence. Their mind's not caught up. I need this. I can't have that. I got to get away from this. I got to get that. Because they're not there. They're seeing what's going on. They're seeing what's going on behind the scenes. They're recognizing it. We got to become more like that. Okay. You want to finish the verse?
Yes. Those whose intelligence has become fixed by perfection of execution of mystic yoga can see that all these elements result from the actions of your external energy. They can also see your transcendental form as super soul in the background of everything. Therefore, Therefore, I repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Okay. Commentary.
Shall we?
So just to sum that up, it's saying that everything that's happening in this universe is not a random flow of atoms. I'm not going to mention any particular authors or
particular atheistic authors.
Not going there. He's saying that if you actually have a peaceful mind, if you're actually deep in your yoga and have established this equilibrium, or what Dr. Charles Alexander Eastman calls silence, you'll see this. It'll become really clear and obvious. There's someone behind this all. And if you go deep into that mystic, Prabhupada translates that as mystic yoga. Generally, when he says that, I think he's talking about Ashtanga yoga, practice of Ashtanga yoga, that you see the Paramatma behind everything, that you're perceiving that. Okay. Commentary.
The objects of material enjoyment, the sensory activities, attachment to sensual pleasure, the body, False egotism, meaning you think you're something that you're not.
I think you're a body. I think
You think you're a body or a career or a
whatever. Yeah.
whatever, and so on. And so on are produced by the Lord's external energy, Maya.
He's got his internal energy, which is eternal, not touched by time, not touched by the modes of nature.
And
he's
his
got
external energy. It's
which
hard. It's such an
functions under those
interesting
laws.
concept that everything we know as ourself is actually not what it appears to be. It's quite amazing. It's a really a virtual reality.
Okay.
You know what? Just the other day, I was going to bed. I was like
Yeah.
in bed, laying in bed, and I was just going.
Deep realization sunk in.
Here's my deal. I was just like, this is what it must be like to die. Ever go to that point right before bed where you're just like, you know, you're about to go into a dream. You're like, this is it. This is what
tied in. I want to hear this. Okay.
This is like I'm about to leave my body, and you're going to enter into a whole nother realm, and everything of the daytime is now forgotten, and you're going to end up in crazy fantasy land.
It's the other way, though.
Whatever, though, it is
Okay.
just another world where you take on a new external form, persona, a mission in life. A lot of my dreams have to do with finding a parking space too, for some reason.
That's a different kind of dream.
You ever have a dream? But anyway, you know, I transferred. I was in some temple last night in my dream, but that transition, that sandhya between being awake and being asleep, I was like, this is what it must be like to leave your body. And then I went,
See, those thoughts are leading up. You and I, Raghunath, like when we're like 88 years old, if we make it that far, right?
Isn't it hard to believe that we just might not make it that far?
We might not.
It's hard to believe that I will not be in existence as I know myself.
That whole thing we're looking at right here.
This whole
happy dancing
thing.
bear right here.
Bear ate too much honey.
Peanut butter bear. We'll be gone. You know,
We'll be gone. You know,
But-
I try to sometimes picture my face like a dead body.
well, I'm working on something.
Okay, sorry, but that's another type of my transcendental
your,
meditation.
Contemplations of death. You write that book, Raghunath. We're waiting that book.
Contemplations of death.
Raghu's death contemplations. But we need to be looking at each other like we're 88 years old. And like we kind of have tears, our eyes are kind of like tearing up a little bit, you know, and we're both like, we get it now, you know. It's like everything that we're hearing all these years, we really know it now. We know that there's no point in hanging on to any kind of egoistic concepts. People can come insult us. It doesn't mean anything. There's nothing. None of this stuff should upset us. Krishna is behind it all. Krishna's a person. I love Krishna. We're gonna die now, and that's great. It's not.
There is no death. I'm
We
eternal.
we got to be right there. You know, that's the goal. You know,
I watch too many animal attack videos.
it doesn't matter. An animal can come attack me. If that happens, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Because in the background, Krishna's moving everything. We get it. We don't need to fight against it. We want to flow with it. You know.
All right. So let me continue on with this purport.
Yeah,
This is
that's where it's going. The background.
The background of all these activities is the living being. And the director of the living beings is the super soul.
Okay.
The living being is not the all in all. He's
It's not like
directed.
we make everything happen.
It's so egoistic to think that it's all happening because of me. I'm behind all this. When I die, how are you guys going to even function?
I got no clue.
We'll figure it out. The world will figure it out, people. The living being is not the all in all. He's directed by the super soul in the Bhagavad-gita 15:15. Great verse.
Confirms this.
Krishna confirms this. Listen to what Krishna says. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivisto.
Hold it. Let's hold it.
Oh,
Let's call him
slow
little
it down,
Karuna.
Kasuba. Slow it down.
Let's call him little Karuna for this one.
Oh, you think she
See if
knows?
knows
She
this.
knows
We
this
haven't
one.
had her on for a while. Little Karuna, do you know 1515? Where is she?
I was just looking at the Karuna video.
There she is. She knows it. Let's unmute. Ask to unmute.
Are you?
Hello, Karuna.
Hi.
Little Karuna, 9 years old, coming in from Lebanon.
Lebanon.
You know? Do you know Bhagavad-gita chapter 15, text 15?
No pressure. 10,000 people are listening.
I know, I just forgot the first word.
Sarvasya chaham.
सर्वस्यः निधिसन्निधिस्तो मतस्मृतिर्ज्ञान अपोहनं च वेदस्य सर्वे अहमेव विद्यो वेदान्तविदेव च.
Yes.
You hear that,
There's
people?
hope for the future. There's hope for the future.
The acharyas are appearing
That's
right now.
And she's the next one.
Look at Kylie Brown is applauding.
When do we
Herschel
turn?
Gore is impressed. Dan
When do we
Murphy.
just turn over the show to like Karuna? It'll
I
just be
know.
like, right? Just like
I can
Karuna,
just
you
see
take it again.
Kostuba talking to Radha Swami. You're talking to Radha Swami today. Maharaj, we got to let go of Raghunath and bring on Karuna. I think it'll be better for the people in general. I know it's going to hurt. It's like pulling a tooth, Maharaj. We just got to pull
be
him.
done. It's got to be done. And then Mara just say, no, I'm with you 100%. And I think also you need to let go too. And just let Karuna do the show now.
It's
Maybe
just
some other kid. Like bring on some other kids.
You know what? We are not, I like to think myself as the face of youth, but I'm no longer the face of youth. We have to make way.
Well, you had a band called Youth of Today. So like that.
I know. And we still do reunions. And I got to like get over that. I got to call it like, we're not the youth of today.
Youth of yesterday.
We were the youth of today. But yeah, we have to step down and take sannyas one of these days. Mara,
Okay.
you can take it with me, Mara.
Okay, no way to do it.
We'll reinvent sannyas.
We were both wearing saffron. It's a new way of taking sannyas. Okay.
And we still snuggle.
Hare Krishna. All right. So what's the translation of that wonderful verse? Please get out of here. You're going to pick up the commentary here right now? That's
Yes.
Okay.
The objects material. Where are we?
Bhagavad-gita
Bhagavad-gita.
15:15.
I am seated in everyone's heart. And for me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness.
Oh, that's incredible.
Right? Your forgetfulness. You want to forget, because some people are like, what's the author you've been quoting all week? Richard Dawkins.
We're not talking about him, right? Why do you keep going back to him?
Because you're in love with him. But listen, Richard Dawkins quote intelligence for forgetting about the absolute truth and to saying everything is just free, random, floating atoms. It's all happening by chance. His forgetfulness of truth is coming from Krishna
Because he wants it.
because he wants it. That's what you want. Krishna will give you
Okay.
the
You wanna
information to
me, you
forget
can
about
forget
him.
me. Yeah.
That's what happens when the devotees fall into Maya. Sometimes devotees are very fixed up, and all of a sudden you see what happened to them. They want to forget about Krishna. Krishna gives them the long,
Leash.
all the information they need to forget about him.
It's kind of like when you break up with somebody, you say, look, don't call me, don't text me, So it's like Richard Dawkins said that to God. Don't text me anymore. And Krishna's like, okay, I tried,
Yeah.
If you
Not
wanna
only
go.
that, it's sort of like, suppose you cheat on your boyfriend or you cheat on your girlfriend, and it ends up breaking up the relationship, and you're sort of an alcoholic as well. And then, but you have an excuse. You have a whole long list. Well, she wasn't fulfilling my needs and she was never there for me. And you just complain, and you have all these a long laundry list of complaints. Krishna gives you the narrative that makes it right for you to all the devotees, they're so fanatical and they should be a little bit more open-minded, and I'm taking it by my pace, whatever it is. Krishna gives us excuses to be in Maya because we want excuses. And Krishna says, I'll fully give you whatever you want.
He'll give it to you. Okay, so he's seated in the heart. From him comes remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. Continue.
He also gives you the intelligence to remember him when you want
That's
to.
right.
It's such a fine line to forget Krishna and to remember Krishna. The living entity depends on the super soul for directions. A person advanced in spiritual knowledge or a person expert in the practice of mystic yoga,
Yama, niyama, asana,
Yama, niyama, asana, and
there it
so
is.
on,
8 limbs, yeah.
can understand transcendence either as Paramatma or as the supreme personality of Godhead.
It's Krishna.
Yes.
You see, this is all straight. That's 6 chapters. It's an incredible chapter, Bhagavad-gita.
Good chapter.
You get to that point where he describes the samadhi.
Every yoga teacher should read the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita
Read the
today.
whole Bhagavad-gita. Okay.
Yeah,
6th
well, they should
chapter
read the
today.
6th chapter
Okay.
today. That's their homework.
So after Krishna describes entering in the state of samadhi, and this happens a lot, especially in those first 6 chapters, where Krishna he's describing transcendence, and in verses that could be understood as they're non-specific in terms of who is God and what is God like. Is God just an energy? Is God a person? They're non-descriptive. But then he comes and then he starts to speak. Let me describe God for you more. And so
I got a great idea. This is
Yes,
total squirrel, but
yeah.
hold it. Just pause yourself because you're saying something
I don't
intelligent.
do this to you,
The
Raghunath. You do it to me
300
about 4 times a day, but okay, go ahead.
That's a viva la difference, huh? But listen to this. I think you should teach Bhagavad-gita for yoga teachers during the 300 in India this year. And
I
just
was thinking of
specifically,
Ishopanishad, but that's a possibility.
you know what I
Okay.
mean? Just you focus on the 6th chapter, or maybe the gunas in the 14th chapter or the 17th chapter, or little
Okay. I'll
things that
decide that in the
yoga
next day or
teachers
two.
should know
Okay.
of the Bhagavad Gita that they can take with them and use it in their yoga class.
That's a good idea. I was thinking of Ishopanishad. I want to do. Maybe Doyle should do Ishopanishad.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. You keep
Okay.
going now. Unpause.
Okay. So we heard about even just what we were reading earlier, how you hit that stage of samadhi, you feel you rejoice and relish in self, you feel boundless transcendental happiness, you never depart from the truth. What is going on, Raghunath? You scratchy bear.
Itchy.
Scratchy bear.
Itchy.
Did you bathe this
Scratchy
morning?
bear.
What's going on?
I didn't bathe this morning. I literally
For real?
rolled out of bed,
Yeah, I could tell.
brushed my teeth.
I can tell.
I brushed
That's
my
why
teeth. Give me a break.
You got this tamagoon thing going on this morning. I picked it up right from when we first connected. I could see you're over there on that couch. You weren't your normal self.
You know what? I would love for 1 week to switch places with you. You mow the lawn. You deal with the kids. You cook.
Those are all choices you made, Bubba.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, Kastuba doesn't know what the
All right,
world.
take a bath in the morning, you know.
A lot of people on this show did not take a bath this morning. Okay.
No, I don't know if that's true.
I'm gonna start naming names in a moment.
Okay. Don't.
Looking around the Zoom board right now, everyone's like, "Oh boy, look alive."
Okay, I want to read this. We only have a few more minutes left. Okay.
Okay.
So
go.
we're hearing in the 6th chapter, about this transcendental happiness. You feel there's no greater gain. You're never shaken amidst the greatest difficulty. You got that even-mindedness. That could be any type of yogi. But then Krishna goes on as the chapter develops. He says, for the yogi whose mind is fixed on me.
Mhm.
Now you see this type of yogi, right? They verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. That person is beyond the modes of passion. They realize their qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus they're freed from all reactions to past deeds. Thus the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination, all that programming in the mind, all that anxiety, all that confusion, all that misidentification, all that pettiness, gone, right? Becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfection, perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord. Now here we go. And this is what this verse is talking about. Seeing behind the movings of material nature, understand Paramatma is behind it all along. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every living being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. Then the classic verse, maybe my favorite verse of Bhagavad-gita now. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor now the heart of Krishna is there, nor is he ever lost to me. I'm always thinking of that person. Such a yogi who engages in the worshipable service of the super soul, knowing that I and the super soul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances. They are the perfect yogi who, by comparison to their own self, sees the true equality of all beings and both their happiness and distress. That's the yogi.
That is a great verse.
That's what we're trying to come to, right? So Mother Earth, she's got that vision, and she's speaking it here, speaking it in her prayers. All right.
Like that, my friend. I like it. I
think we're done for today, Raghunath. I want you to take a bath right after the show. I don't want you walking around the rest of the day.
Are you? And so, who are you? My father? Take a
I
bath.
said, do you need
Yes,
one?
Papa.
Apparently
Yes,
you need
Papa.
one. Apparently you need one. Right?
I'm gonna take a bath. I'm gonna do my puja.
I mean,
Woke
you're
up
sitting
late.
here like this, on the show.
I'm like a
I think you
monkey.
need someone to tell you this.
Itchy bear.
Itchy bear. Okay.
You know what I find? I'm always scratching and scraping during the show. It's part of my morning rituals. I scratch it, even showered.
Even when you
I
bathe?
find myself scratching, fiddling with my face. It's not good.
No, it's not good.
But
Okay.
I got a feeling everybody's doing that, but no one's on camera all the time as much as I am.
I don't think so.
It's not like you're hyper analyzing Amy Steller or Chapu or Maturananda.
None
They're
of
just
them were
doing their
doing that.
thing. They probably are. We're not looking at them. You're staring at me the whole show.
Okay. Mara,
Takeaways, Mara.
takeaways for today.
Silence is a cornerstone of character.
Next time we just watch Clifford Dean. The entire show, no matter what we say, we just
We're
watch
gonna-
Clifford Dean.
How about a little
Watch what he's
silence right
doing.
now?
Look, he's eating. Look, he's winking again. We call him Winky Bear. How about that? Winky Bear.
Silence is a cornerstone of character.
Let go of the measures of success.
Let him go, Raghunath.
Yeah. Yes.
Forgiveness is a quiet mind.
Oh, that's Yudhishthira right there.
Oh, yes.
What undermines our peace undermines our happiness.
That's Raghu right there.
That's me. I said that.
Someone is in control of our body.
Sounds weird.
Ooh. They're making you scratch, Raghunath.
Yeah, it's not me. You blame me. Blame the demigods. They're scratching me.
Recognize what's happening behind the scenes.
It's Krishna
What?
working behind the scenes all the time.
Yeah.
The super soul is the director.
Okay, did they have the director chair?
Yeah. Directed by the Super Soul.
Yeah. Forgetfulness comes from Krishna.
Yeah, I like that. Simple but poignant.
And
And
frog eyes is a compliment.
that's right, Raghunath.
Well, how is that a
Compliment.
compliment?
They have
When
good
they're all
eyes.
laughing and pointing at you, it's not a compliment.
It was a compliment. It was like
You're like, you have. It's like when they say in India, like, oh, she is like a cow, like as a compliment.
it's exactly like that.
Or sometimes Krishna says, you'll hear Radharani or Krishna described as he has thighs like banana trees.
They're very graceful and smooth.
I know, but you can't go up to a lady right now. Hey, Kylie Brown, you got legs like a banana tree. What? But it's one of the common. You got a face like a moon. That's another like Sanskrit analogy. Your head is like a moon.
You're saying
Call me
got
Moonhead?
marks all over it.
Call me Moonhead. Anyway, maybe it was lost in translation. Maybe they were all pointing, laughing at my eyes, and appreciated me.
She
We
walks like an
appreciate
elephant.
you beautiful frog.